It is entirely possible that this intro hits a little too hard for a team that is this inexplicably soft. If you have followed Pensare basketball, you know that we don't care about wins and losses nearly as much as we care about process. And the process today was mixed, very mixed. The Toronto Raptors faced the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first game of the NBA Cup. This is by far the favorite team to come out of this division, the Cleveland Cavaliers. But this isn't exactly the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's not get it twisted. No Jarrett Allen, no Donovan Mitchell, no Max Strus, no Sam Merrill, no Donovan Mitchell. Did I say Donovan Mitchell? They were missing 4 starters and one of the key bench players. And despite this, the Toronto Raptors started out very well, very professional. No drop game, no, sag off game where you see that the other team doesn't have their best guy in, and then you just immediately crater yourself. No, the Raptors didn't shoot themselves in the foot tonight. They did a good job of coming out with a very professional effort in the first quarter. Also, give a shout out to Red Salute. You were in the studio, but I had to kick you to start the live. If you want to call back in, anyone who wants to call in, link is in the description. We can certainly talk about this game and the good and the bad of this game. The good, let's start with the good because you did win and everyone is expecting to hear something good after the Blue Jays just lost and are heading to game 7. The 2 best words in sports, man. Game 7. Shout outs to Adam Daniel Mizet, one of my good friends. He is the biggest baseball fan that I know. And I hit him up before this to wish him a happy belated birthday. And I let him know, I'm like, man, I'm so happy for you right now because I can't participate in this, right? I've been watching the Blue Jays for 2 weeks. I cannot sit here and act like I care as much about this as someone who has been a lifelong Blue Jays fan the way he has. And he said, if we close it out tonight, it'll be great. And I said, and I regret saying this, I said, but you close out in game 7, it could be better. So, shout outs to the Blue Jays. I have faith that the Blue Jays will bring a World Series to Toronto, and hopefully that'll make people forget for a minute about the mess that is the Toronto Raptors right now. However, let's start with the positives. Positive numero uno. Positive number 1 is Jamison Battle. It has to be Jamison Battle. If there's a game ball tonight, like if there's, some sort of like celebration of excellence tonight, it has to be Jamison Battle. It has to be Jamison Battle. Like you cannot even understate what this guy did for you in the limited minutes that he played. He basically came in and was Klay Thompson. Like you just resurrected Klay Thompson. He looked more like Klay Thompson tonight than Klay Thompson has looked like Klay Thompson in like a year. So, shout outs to Jamison Battle. He was unreal. And you know what? I pointed this out during my last live, where I talked about the positives. He has been an overwhelming positive for this team. In the few minutes he's been playing, he's been one of your 3 to 4 best players. And I think it is really hard to ignore that every single time you put a guy in cold as anything, and he just comes in and he saves your game every time. Positive number 2, Immanuel Quickley got benched. 2 minutes into the third quarter. The Raptors were in the midst of a 6-minute scoring drought in which they had not scored a single field goal. And Darko Rajakovic calls a timeout, perhaps fearing that a loss on the road against this team, given that the Raptors had a double-digit, let's call it a double-digit lead up until that point, would be a punishable offense, like a fireable offense, that type of thing. So I looked at it as a very positive sign of growth from Darko Rajakovic that he was able to call that timeout and actually put Immanuel Quickley on the bench. And also gives me a little bit of faith that maybe the front office has emboldened him to say, you know what, listen, we're shopping RJ potentially, so maybe avoid putting RJ on the bench. But we got this guy long term, and right now he is out there pretty much killing his own trade value right now. Okay, so it was a good sign to see Immanuel Quickley actually face some accountability. Let's go with more positives. Scotty Barnes finally rebounded the basketball. I'm not going to tell you I was super pleased with Scotty's offensive process for a lot of the second half, but he started out as the best offensive player in the building for the first quarter when the Raptors built up that big lead. And in the second half, it was like he just saw the writing on the wall and said, "Let me just focus on defense." But he wasn't alone. So let's talk about the other guys: Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, those guys. Ochai Agbaji providing you with a fair bit of rim protection, which I thought was very clutch. Consider furthermore, like Sandro Mamukelashvili. RJ Barrett even got a block at the rim, which I thought was incredible, right? So we're going to take a look at a lot of this in the film session, but let's take a quick look here. Raptors finally get back into the win column. Again, people are very moved, whether correctly or incorrectly, by wins and losses. Like people genuinely are very moved by these factors. And I think that it's fine that when you win, things sort of get washed over, but that's not what we're about here. So we're going to look at the downsides of this win as well. We're going to look at some of the mistakes. I'll give you another positive. The Raptors were not nearly as choppy or nearly as, how shall we put it? They were not nearly as chickens with their heads cut off defensively today. It wasn't nearly as uncontrolled. There was a lot more controlled chaos. The defense still left a lot to be desired. The Cavaliers got open look after open look at the three. So, the Raptors have a lot to clean up, especially off the ball, especially paint protection. Again, you are starting a 6'6" rookie at center. Rim protection is going to be hard to come by, right? So it's going to be tough. But anyways, in terms of the starting lineup, ugh, you know, you get the worst statistical game from Emmanuel Quickley, 4 points, 6 assists, but he didn't force the issue as much as he previously would, but he forced it plenty. 2 for 9. I didn't like some of the shots that he took. There was a sequence in which, he misses, he has a turnover. We'll take a look at that sequence. There's a turnover, and then, another possession goes by. Jacoby Walter, he misses at the rim or gets blocked. And then, there's finally a defensive stop on the other end, and Emmanuel Quickley goes 1-on-3 into the paint. I appreciate that Emmanuel Quickley is aggressive. You want your guards, especially ones who are dynamic and good off the bounce, to be aggressive. But at the same time, there's over penetration, there's over aggression. And sometimes the better read is just to trust your teammates. And right now, if I can define the entire Raptors situation in one nutshell, it comes down to trust. It doesn't seem Scotty trusts his teammates. It doesn't feel like Emmanuel Quickley trusts his teammates. I'm not entirely sure Brandon Ingram trusts his teammates, although he's done a much better job than those two. And it doesn't feel like RJ trusts anyone but Emmanuel Quickley. It's just a whole bunch of people kind of playing on an island right now by themselves. And I've seen teams go like this before. It's just not a right vibe. Now, I don't want to project too much into what is really going on with this team behind the scenes because I honestly don't know. I've heard some stuff. Take it with a grain of salt. I've heard some stuff, but obviously it doesn't take a genius to put together the fact that, hey, the Raptors have spent the offseason making it kind of known to a lot of very prominent people, including agents, including other teams, rival executives, that RJ Barrett could be available at the right price. Guys like Ochai Agbaji, guys like Emmanuel Quickley might be available for the right price. So you look at that and you say, have these guys heard the rumblings? If they have, it's a little bit harder, in my opinion, to get them to buy into, okay, well, I'm going to sacrifice for the team now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to sacrifice my touches, my minutes, my contract, whatever the hell it is, right? The buy-in factor has to be really high if you're going to play defense in this exhausting way. And I just feel like far too often this season, it has felt like, it's two different teams playing out there, right? And that's why guys like Jamison Battle and Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, guys who just kind of play for the team, don't really know any better. Collin Murray Boyles, these are the guys who, in my opinion, have been like the biggest winners so far, right? If you look at it, like these are the guys who they come out, they do their job, and they are standing out because other people aren't doing their jobs. They're playing two-way basketball, they're getting off the ball quickly, and yeah, like it's just that simple. Like you have to look at this from the perspective of team basketball. You have shot creators. Do you have too many shot creators? You have 4 players in the starting lineup who are veering more towards offense. Now, if Scotty Barnes starts to be more of a defensive player, well then, there comes a consequence to that because he's your best decision maker with the basketball, right? Emmanuel Quickley is sucking up a lot of possessions in terms of creation for others, which complicates the fact that Scotty Barnes wants to do that. So now Scotty Barnes is going to be more of a scorer. But then what does Jakob do? Because Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl effectively are being asked to do the same thing, which is cut and set screens. And so, and it's just like my turn, your turn basketball. It reminds me a little bit, not exactly of the Antoine Walker to the OGs, to the old heads. You might remember this. The Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce Celtics is one of my most hated teams in NBA history. It might also remind you of the DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay Raptors, where it's just like, okay, my turn. Okay, your turn. I'll take the left side. You take the right side. Okay, I had 2 shots. You go take a shot. This kind of bullshit basketball is just not really what Darko preaches. And thank God for that. Right. Liam saying, Penn, we truly need a Kyle Lowry type leader. Well, first of all, I agree with you. But also, I do want to point out, Kyle grew into being that type of leader when he was in his late 20s. You don't have a lot of guys other than Brandon Ingram who are in their late 20s right now who might feel, let's call it emboldened to be, coaching other guys up or telling other guys off or whatever. And I think Scotty has to be the guy because he is the Kyle Lowry. He's cut from the same cloth. He cares about his teammates. But you know what? Sometimes caring about your teammates means doing the right thing, doing the unsexy thing, and that means crashing the glass, guarding, 3 guys. That's what it means sometimes, right? So you've got to look at this and you just say, okay, if Kyle Lowry, was on this team, who is it exactly that would be catching his ire? It would be all the guys who are not playing well on defense, who are the guys who are lazily jogging back, who are closing out like crazy motherfuckers on the other end. And so I just think that there has to be some element of Antoine Rose said, RJ didn't have tunnel vision. Are you guys mentally okay? The man clearly sacrifices touches for the team. At least acknowledge that. I don't know who you're talking to. Yeah, RJ had a lot of positive plays today. RJ also had a lot of negative plays today. We're gonna take a look at both on the film breakdown, and I think that it's worth acknowledging both. All right, cool. Clutch Tatum, you are not wrong. That definitely did happen. RJ also finished a couple of really tough finishes as well. Anyways, for the Cavaliers side, you got 29 points from Evan Mobley, 26 points from DeAndre Hunter. Both guys are very, familiar with, getting touches and but they're kind of over leveraged. And when this game got down to the wire and it was close, they didn't have the guys who typically would close possessions for them, which is Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, those guys. And so, off the bench, the Raptors clearly knocked them out of the park, right? You got 20 points in 15 minutes from Jamison Battle. He hit all 7 of his shots. I shudder to think what he's shooting on the season. He was a plus 28. They tell you not to take plus minus too seriously. Yo, the man he replaced in the lineup for most of those minutes was likely Collin Murray Boyles, pretty much. He was so much better than Collin Murray Boyles tonight. He was your best player, arguably, right? Brandon Ingram was also impressive, right? He got on the glass, he pushed the break, he got off the ball quickly. There was a really big and one when the Raptors were on the wire, which really gave the Raptors like that second steam that you need, like to just sort of push through. I think if we're being honest, Scotty had a so-so game, right? Like a very so-so game, very, pedestrian offensive effort. When his shot wasn't going in, he's fighting himself a little bit. I have no idea, man. But in the first half, first half, Scotty was amazing. Second half, Scotty, I don't know what the hell happened during halftime. He was a different person. And this is the second time. The first time it happened was the Spurs game. This is the second time it's happened where, you're on the road, you're facing a team that's, just beating the shit out of you. You're starting to lose the lead. You're starting to lose grasp of the game. And I need Scotty Barnes to grab the bull by the horns. And he's just kind of like sulking. And I don't like it. I'm going to be honest. I don't like it. Now, he had a very hard job tonight. He was covering up a lot of things defensively. He played center, power forward. He played a little bit of point. So he has a very difficult job on every single night with this team, honestly. And the Raptors defense was actually better tonight. But how much of that is the fact that you are not facing a dynamic shot creator? How much of that is the fact that you are not facing a team with a reasonable starting point guard right now? And Lonzo Ball is really struggling for the most part. They were better with Lonzo on the court, but then they played Larry Nance Jr., who's kind of washed at this point, Luke Travers, who's like, I think, a rookie or a second-year player, Thomas Bryant, who's like a third-string center at this point, Craig Porter Jr., who was abysmal, and Tyrese Proctor, who's a rookie, right? And it's just like these are the lineups that you really beat the shit out of, and it's like, should you be really thrilled about it, right? Like I don't know, man. And then, of course, the opposing coach makes a very, very big decision in the fourth quarter to kind of keep Evan Mobley on the bench during that really major run. And obviously, you want to not lose the forest from the trees in terms of the plot. Here, you obviously understand that this is a long season. You're not going to win the championship tomorrow, but at the same time, right? Antoine Rose, I'm gonna ask you to chill. Okay, you can disagree with people without having to call them names and call them weird. And honestly, like I think the super fandom of any one player, like if you objectively think RJ Barrett had a great game tonight, I don't think you know what you're watching. Just like I would think you're crazy if you guys don't know basketball at all. Okay, so how about this, Antoine? Why don't you call in? And every single time someone likes to roast our chat, I feel a little bit defensive for the chat because I actually think that our chat does know basketball. You know how I know our chat knows basketball? Because I watch PC chat every single day talk about total nonsense. I listen to, the hello and welcome chat. I'll look at the chat. I'll see what they're saying. I think this is one of the best chats. I'm not even sucking up to the chat. I think genuinely speaking, I see more level-headed comments in these chats than I do on anywhere else on YouTube. Antoine Rose, you guys are so butthurt RJ didn't pass to your boy toy. What at the end? I don't give a shit. You hear me bring that up? I mean, he could have passed to Scotty, would have been a nice thing to do because the guy is fucking covering your ass defensively the entire game. But hey, man, that's cool. Like whatever. I don't think Scotty minds. Shit, the game was over. Is that who you're talking about? Is that what you're talking about? I mean, the projection here is absolutely mental, right? Like you sound really butthurt for real. Like you, the one who sounds butthurt, coming in here telling everyone that they're butthurt. Like maybe this is just a bit of a projection thing. You know what I mean? Anyways, so moving on. Let's look at the team stats. The Raptors did actually win the rebound battle at the half, and they end up winning the rebound battle in the end, 48-42. A welcome sign. Obviously, I'm gonna be honest. You're not going to win the rebound battle if Jarrett Allen's playing. Like Jarrett Allen is a beastly rebounder, and you have nobody to box that dude out. The Raptors did hit their free throws for the most part. Scotty Barnes missed a pair of free throws uncharacteristically. The Raptors continue to hit blistering 43% from three, but that is largely carried by Jamison Battle because Scotty couldn't hit a shot tonight. From three, he went 1 for 4, and Jamison Battle, carried it, but Emmanuel Quickley went 0 for 3. You're once again out shooting the team, 48.8%, but you overturn it over, like you turn it over 18 times, and some of the turnovers were just so stupid. Oh my goodness. You win the points in the paint battle, which I liked overall, and you led by 13 at some point. So that's pretty positive, I guess. I mean, if we're grasping at straws here for positivity, yeah, that's pretty positive. Okay, let's get to the film breakdown because I think this is going to be a doozy. And Antoine Rose, you might want to close your eyes because this ain't going to be too flattering to your boy. This ain't going to be too flattering to your boy. I'm just telling you. But hey, man, shout outs to RJ Barrett. I give him major kudos. He was like literally my first positive yesterday. But sometimes these RJ people, like I don't know who you guys think he is. I really don't. Okay, let's get to it. All right. Literally my first. Okay, so I say no Mitchell, no Allen, no Garland, no Merrill, no Strus. If Toronto manages to lose this game, all bets are off. This team needs a solid blowout road win tonight. No excuses. Depressing that despite this, the Cavaliers are plus 4.5 favorites, which is freaking ridiculous. And I said, if you ever tell me again that RJ Barrett is a good defender, I will block you. It's literally my first point. So yeah, like I start out really like on point. Watch number 9 here, okay? Did you just lose Jalen Tyson? Do you see Scotty Barnes? Why are you doubling DeAndre Hunter off the ball? Like this is just zero off ball awareness. And quite frankly, a closeout. Like, who are you trying to stop? This is not a practice. Cheat sheet. That shot goes in. Okay. And now watch this. That's your man. Now, where's Emmanuel Quickley? I don't know. But I know Scotty Barnes is guarding Dean Wade. Who are you guarding, RJ Barrett? Yeah, you're guarding Jalen Tyson. Here comes Emmanuel Quickley to jump to the corner shooter. But hey, man, like RJ Barrett, that's your guy. You have to be able to see him and you're watching the ball. Like, why? Do you think Dean Wade is a threat here? That's not Alperen Sengun. That's not Shaquille O'Neal. Scotty got him locked. So, if nothing, the only option out for Dean Wade from this situation is to pass. And this dude just passes right past you. Now, this is on Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett. If you want to be really technical, you'd be like, oh, this is on Quickley because that was Quickley's man and RJ should be in the corner. Like, come on, man. Let's not be stupid here. Okay. The first object is to know where your man is, but also to understand the rest of the court. And that was just atrocious defense from those two. And frankly, they deserved I think Emmanuel Quickley absolutely deserved to get benched today. I said Scotty Barnes has been awesome. Now, this is the awesome part of Scotty's game, which is the beginning part. I do not think he was awesome for the rest of the game, but to start this game, he was absolutely awesome. Here, you need to see more of this, man. You need to see him attacking. Dean Wade can't guard you. Come on, man. I don't think D Wade could guard you. I don't think Dean Wade, definitely don't think Dean Wade could guard you. Here, Brandon Ingram, perfect pass to Scotty Barnes. And Scotty Barnes passing out to Antoine Rose's boyfriend here, RJ Barrett. And boom, RJ hits the three. Perfect. RJ has been knocking down his catch and shoots. And that is a very, very positive sign for RJ Barrett going forward on this team. And here, check out the defense. Here, Scotty Barnes. Closeout on DeAndre Hunter. Boom. Good closeout. Love it. Right? Kind of rolls his ankle a little bit there. And he's just like, what the fuck? Now, look at the ball going up. Look at RJ Barrett. Look at Emmanuel Quickley. Look at Brandon Ingram. How do you get beat? And look at Scotty Barnes. He's just so discouraged right now. He's just like, oh my God, all that fucking defense for nothing. I'll just grab it myself. So now he grabs it. And oh, look, once again, an easy pass to RJ Barrett. Now, like reciprocity is a real thing in life. You think for the guy who hooked him up as many times as he did, maybe RJ Barrett could have passed Scotty the ball when he was wide open underneath the basket to end the game, get Scotty, 2 points on a tough night. Sure, he could have. I would have done it. But then again, I'm a fucking point guard. That's what I would do. I'm looking out for my guys. I wanted my guys to eat. RJ's a scorer. He's a bucket getter. His bucket, if it's not his bucket, he doesn't care. Does that type of player fit into this offense? I don't know. I said CMB doing God's work against Evan Mobley here. I love this. I mean, CMB did not have the most solid second half or the most solid second stint, but his first stint was pretty good. This is a really tough shot to hit over Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley, whew, damn. I said WRJ. I like this, man. Like, this is great. Smart off ball, great pass by Jamal Shed. Perfect. And here, bodying and then getting clearing and boom. Too often, I think in years past, RJ would rush this. And I'm really happy he's gotten a lot more patient with his paint finishes. It's a big reason why they're going in a lot more. I said, never disrespect Scotty Barnes again. This possession was super stagnant. And here it just ends in Scotty Barnes coming off. And here Dean Wade is like, what are you going to do with 2.7 seconds? Scotty's like, pull it up in your face. That's a contested pull-up three from 30 feet, 28 feet, 29 feet. Tough shot, man. Tough shot. That's, by the way, the only three he hit. And I said, we are deeply unserious. Look at the string of turnovers. If you're wondering how the Raptors got this many turnovers, it is ridiculous. Now, just a poor processing thing, right? Just poor handle. Ochai Agbaji also got a 8-second violation, later on in the game. So that was a really tough play. We look at the second play here, which is, RJ Barrett driving, stops, travels. Like, come on, man. Like, I understand the offense is a little bit stagnant, but you're also driving into the congested side. Mamu has not properly spaced for you. If you have any patience here, and I understand it's a late clock situation, but you got to be able to get you're going towards the help. Larry Nance is the help. You need to drive middle here. You need to drive middle, and then you'll have an outlet to Jamal Shed maybe. But here you go right into the help. into a good defender, decent defender in DeAndre Hunter, who is more than equipped to stop you. So I just think this is a poor process. And here we go with the third one here, which is Ochai Agbaji passes to Mamukelashvili. And Mamukelashvili has generally been really solid for the Raptors, but here he is going to try and execute a little dribble handoff, and boom, Dean Wade just pokes it away. I think the Cavaliers outplayed the Raptors tonight, if I'm being honest. I really do. I think they just ran out of gas at the end. They played better. They executed better. They were tougher. They were just a better team tonight. They looked like a team that was serious, and they haven't gotten off to a great start to start the season. Here, Scotty Barnes just bodies. No Evan Mobley. I'm going straight to the basket. Just makes it. That's about the last bit of good Scotty offense for this game, unfortunately. I said they're running a train on RJ right now. Jesus. Whew. What was I thinking with that caption? If you ever try to tell me RJ Barrett's a good defender again, I swear to God, I'm going to crash out. I'm going to ban the next person that tells me this. Watch this. Okay. Now, this is awesome. Good. Cut off the drive. And this is the part that you are going to notice. You're going to be like, this is great. This is great defense for RJ, right? But watch this. The possession is over, right? The possession is over. Now what? You got Grady and RJ on the fucking court together. Big mistake, right? Now, RJ is thinking help here. But you've got to read this pass. Your man is already gone. He's relocated, and this Luke Travers guy is going to have the easiest shot, and you don't even contest. What kind of a bullshit contest is this? You waving at professional shooters. This is a shoot-around shot. This is just bullshit defense. You notice how guys don't hit these open shots when Scotty and CMB and Ochai and Jacoby are closing out? And you notice how teams just keep hitting shots over RJ Barrett? Do you know how many fucking shots were hit over RJ Barrett today? These late bullshit closeouts. Look, man, you cannot do lip service to defense. There has to be intention to defense, okay? Now here, Grady kind of cheating here. Hello, Emmanuel Quickley. What you up to? What are you doing? Now, if IQ is late, what is the rotation here? IQ cannot stop this player. RJ, step up and take a fucking charge. It's projected. And you just let him dunk it? Okay, Antoine Rose, you banned. Peace out, man. We don't have time for your bullshit. We really don't. You're nothing but a stan. That's what you are. You're a stan of a player. You're not a fan of a team. You're a stan of a player. You think he's this guy, and that's cool. I hope you find a lot of consensus for your crazy ass beliefs. But, you know, like being real here, right? You're not saying anything disrespectful about RJ. This is actually true. What is happening here is true. Okay. Whew. Now, here's some good Emmanuel Quickley possessions before he absolutely lost his fucking mind. Here, Brandon Ingram off the rebound here. Boom. Passes up to Emmanuel Quickley. And one of the rare finishes where he doesn't get blocked. My goodness. And continue to the next one here, where this was really created by Jakob Poeltl passing to Emmanuel Quickley on the dribble handoff. And then look at Jacoby's very intelligent off-ball movement. He moves to the right space to give Quickley this pass. And Quickley, who has no idea where he is, but sees him now. You see, like, Quickley never knows where a guy actually is. Like, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, he never completely knows where a guy is. He only ever figures it out after the fact. So it's a little bit, strange, but that's kind of where we're at right now with Emmanuel Quickley is like, he never really knows. J Powell saying, damn, Antoine got roasted and fried. I mean, he got banned. And here, Jakob Poeltl, perfect, hits the three. Beautiful basketball, man. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, moving on. Moving past this. Okay. Now, just as I praise Emmanuel Quickley, he goes and fucking loses his mind. Look at this. Now here, I do appreciate that he's being aggressive. But is this a good shot, Emmanuel Quickley? with Jacoby Walter wide open, Ochai Agbaji wide open, you don't think you could take one more dribble into the paint? Like, this is just old Emmanuel Quickley habits. And here, he kind of just, he takes his sweet ass time to figure this out, and then eventually decides to cough up the possession and throws it out of bounds. Like, so many passes with Emmanuel Quickley are so unclean, right? Like, everything is just scrappy, late, off target, off time. Here, Emmanuel Quickley is going to botch simple transition. So Collin Murray Boyles gets the rebound off a monster block from Ochai Agbaji, whose greatest skill defensively is actually protecting the paint. For a 6'5" guy, that's awesome. And here, Emmanuel Quickley thinks he's just going to turn on the Jets and beat Ja Morant. But unlike Ja Morant, who would absolutely dunk that, you decide to try to make this soft-ass layup. You get stuffed at the rim. This is right around the time, honestly, that the Raptors completely lost their minds. Right, this is the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. And from this point on, that possession by Emmanuel Quickley killed the potential of a blowout. Okay? Now, speaking of killing team momentum, this is the final shot to end the half. Look at the time. Look at the clock. It's 2 seconds. Why are you trying to reach? What would a reach do for you? Play contained defense. What are you doing? And you've got your fucking hands down. Why are your hands down? Look at this late ass contest. Like, you're right there. He didn't do anything. There's no way in hell you are going to actually tell me this is good defense. You really actually have to be insane. Like, you might be mentally, I'm not going to get canceled. This is terrible defense. It's just gambling. It's just reaching at the ball, poking at the ball. You got to be kidding me. Like, why are you trying to force a drive right now? Square up. Do you have any idea what you're doing defensively? Bro, my God. The fact that he wasn't actually benched for this bullshit, I will tell you right now, it is a sign that they're trying to shop him. And I'm not even trying to be rude about it. Don't come at me with your bullshit about like, oh, Rob's got an agenda. I got no agenda. I am throwing my favorite player under the bus for his shit ass performance in the second half too. 100%. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is RJ Barrett almost single-handedly killing this defense to the point where when he is not on the court, whether he is replaced by Jamison Battle, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shed, or literally any bench player on this team with the exception of Grady Dick, it's better. So everything I'm giving you offensively, I'm not hitting 100% of my shots, but I'm giving up almost 100% of my shots on the other end. So I'm very happy you got that block and everyone can just, like be so happy about that. But my God, you have to look at the whole game. Whew. I said, Jamison Battle. Okay, I said, I have no words. This is genuinely embarrassing basketball. This is like 6 minutes into the third quarter. Y'all see the score? 48-40 when RJ Barrett allows this shot to go up. You go into the half with absolutely all momentum lost. You had a 10-point lead, and you lost it on bullshit plays by Emmanuel Quickley on one end, RJ Barrett on the other end. And now your wheels have fallen off. I was convinced 3-4 minutes into the third quarter, Darko getting fired tomorrow. Now, I don't want Darko to get fired. I don't want Darko to get fired because it's not his fault that he has to play RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. It's not his fault that he has to start these two. This is a mandate. We're trying to shop RJ. Can't bench him. Okay, I'll work around it. Do you know how hard it is to work around a defender who falls asleep off the ball every fucking play? You know how easy it is to have this defender sequentially move closer to the basket because he wants to grab the ball and go. And every single time he ends up close to the basket trying to grab rebounds, me-bounds, whatever the fuck you want to call it, he is the last man back on defense, and he has zero shot blocking ability other than the block he actually got today. I'm not trying to like roast RJ Barrett for his overall performance, but his defensive performance and defensive technique is truly the stuff of horrors. Okay. It is bad. It is genuinely the worst defense I have seen from a Raptor starter since Jose Calderon. It might be Jose. No. At least Jose clapped his hands, bro. Jose was a limited point guard. And like, it's bad, bro. Like, when's the last time the Raptors had a defensive liability this big? DeMar DeRozan? Maybe DeMar DeRozan, right? Like, even Debo wasn't this bad, yo. Like sometimes, like y'all really piss me off because I'll be seeing this shit and people don't see this. So I got to break down the film. I said this, I have no words. It's genuinely embarrassing. And we have a group chat on Players Choice, and I messaged the group chat. I'm gonna actually look up my message here. I'm gonna let you know what my message was on the group chat. Hang on one second. I'm gonna find it. My message was, hang on. Gonna find it. My message to the group chat was, sorry guys, give me one sec here. I'll tell you right now, if Toronto loses to the Cavs without Strus, Garland, Merrill, Allen, and Mitchell, I'm not bringing this team up again for a month unless forced. I can't believe we're somehow going to blow this game. So, like, this is genuinely embarrassing. If you're a Raptor fan, there has to be some element of pride associated with that. There has to be some element of, that's my team. And when your team goes on the road against a depleted Cavaliers team, builds up a 10-point lead, and then shits the bed like a bunch of 6-year-olds, it is truly embarrassing to call this a professional basketball team. And I'm being very real about this. This is an embarrassing performance, okay? Here, RJ Barrett, boom, okay? What are you doing? On what planet is that a good shot? I feel like some people just look at the box score, and if a guy has 12 or 13, 15 points, do you know how many people I listen to in the Toronto media right now who used to rip Scotty Barnes when he was averaging 12, 15, 16 points per game and are glazing him now that he's averaging 22? Y'all are insane. Y'all are really insane because he was actually playing better. He was actually playing better towards the end of last year than he's playing right now. I've actually been pretty disappointed with Scotty's performance. And I hate to be the person who got to bring down my favorite player, but I'm going to keep it real with you. Scotty has not been great defensively for the most part this year. He hasn't been super consistent. He's had flashes of greatness. He's had really very positive shooting, but I don't expect him to shoot 55% from three. So what happens when he shoots 30% from three? What happens is what happened tonight. You know, it hasn't been great, man. He's been soft. He hasn't rebounded nearly enough. I'm being real about it. I'm being honest. Okay. Brandon Ingram's been fucking awesome for the most part. But defensively, he has his warts too. Nobody has been perfect. The only player on this team that has been basically perfect for every minute they've played is Jamison Battle. And I'm just being real about it. My God. I keep having to reference the fact that I'm being real about it because people are just so willing to be fake about it. What is wrong with y'all? Like what? Because we won, it all goes away. We don't have to talk about RJ defense. No, we absolutely do have to talk about RJ's defense because Jamison Battle is not going to fucking come off the bench and bail you out like he's Reggie Miller and Steph Curry every night. Jeez. And then what happens if this shit happens in the fourth minute of the fourth quarter? Huh? What happens? What happens when you're down and in the fourth minute of the fourth quarter, RJ starts shitting the bed? Well, what happens is Dallas. That's what happens. What happens is Milwaukee, right? Milwaukee. That game where it was like 7 turnovers in 7 minutes. That bullshit. 100% of the offense and defense in the clutch time collapses of this team comes down to pretty much 2 players all the time. And it's not helping you out that Scotty Barnes has been soft defensively. And it's not helping you out that Jakob Poeltl has a busted back right now because those guys were able to clean up a lot of that shit for you. But the question is, how much better would you be if you didn't have to clean up so much of a mess? Do you know what I mean? It's like having a toddler in your house, this ungrateful ass toddler that just wakes up. You wake up every single day and there's spilled cereal on the ground. I don't have a toddler, but I'm just assuming that would be really annoying. Like basically these two are like the toddlers who just keep spilling the fucking cereal on the ground. And it's really annoying. Okay. Jamison Battle and Jamal Shed carrying us back, showing IQ and RJ how to actually play basketball. Yo, for real. Give this video a like for Jamison Battle, man. Please give this video a like for Jamison Battle and Jamal Shed. Like, look at this. Simple basketball, man. Corner shooter, wide open. I guarantee you, if Evan Mobley had actually closed out to Jamison Battle, this is an immediate swing to Ochai Agbaji. And if Jalen Tyson is late closing out to Agbaji, I'll guarantee you Brandon Ingram is smart enough to flare to the corner. Ochai Agbaji drives, kick out to Brandon Ingram. The 1, 2, 3 sequence. It's very simple basketball, but none of that actually matters because Jamison Battle is open. And Jamison Battle does not need much time to get this off. Honestly, becoming one of my favorite shooters in the NBA. What a find. You found this guy in the undrafted heap. Just by the way, for every single person who says tank, tank, tank every single year, you found him in the undrafted heap. And Jamison Battle was really like the revelation in tonight's game. Here, another one from the left corner. Boom! Goes the dynamite. He's amazing. Like, he's just such an amazing player. And I will let you know something. I was actually watching the Raptors pregame shoot around, and a friend of mine who was actually there, in Cleveland, messaged me, and he covers the Cleveland Cavaliers. And he, because Jamison Battle is from the Ohio State and whatever, this was kind of like a little bit of a homecoming for him as well. He probably had some friends or family in the crowd because he did, or at least friends in the crowd because he did go to the Ohio State. And, my friend covers the Cavaliers, and he said, would y'all ever consider getting off of Jamison Battle? He looked really great today in the shoot around. And what was interesting to me, at least, was when I watched the interview with Jamison Battle, he was the only person that the Raptors interviewed for their little media circus bullshit that didn't look sleepy. And the minute I saw that, like, he was sharp. And I know it's innocuous. It's totally bullshit. Who cares? Oh my God, he's answering questions clearly. No, it matters to me. It matters to me that on game day for shoot around, that you look like you don't have puffy eyes, like you were up all night playing video games. Okay, this is the problem. Sometimes consequence with young teams that lack direction is sometimes you don't know how to be professional off the court. And one thing I will say about Jamison Battle, and this is something I dug into him when we signed him last year, this dude does not fuck around. Him and Jamal Shed, these two guys are so workmanlike. And I'll throw Chucky Hepburn into that mix as well. They do not get gassed up on the idea that they're NBA professionals. They don't get gassed up on the girls and all that stuff. I'm sure they got their own booty calls in their cities and whatever. But the point here is these two are very business-minded professional athletes. And there is a code of conduct when it comes to being a professional athlete. You must be ready. You must be prepared. When your number is called, you must be mentally ready to play basketball because you're being paid to play basketball, whether you get into the game or not. They're signing you a very big check to keep your ass on the bench. There needs to be a professional sort of appreciation for that. And unfortunately, sometimes that appreciation doesn't come until you're overlooked. The Jonathan Mobos, the Jamison Battles, the Jacoby Walters, these guys, they've been overlooked a lot. Jacoby a little less so, but Jamal Shed, Jamison Battle, Jonathan Mobo are really, they've won my heart as professional basketball players. They are embodying more so than anybody else on this team what it means to be a professional hooper. Okay, you want to talk about guys who were picked in the first round who embody this? Drew Holiday's like that too. Chucky Hepburn is absolutely like that too. You see Chucky Hepburn, he gets into the game. He hasn't played all game. He's a dog. He gets after it. Jamal Shed's like that too. What I say, Jamison Battle's like that too. You need more guys like that. And honestly, Collin Murray Boyles like that too. Y'all may not know this, but Collin Murray Boyles was a 3-star recruit. Collin Murray Boyles takes game day very seriously. He has a prep, he has a meal, he has whatever. Like he understands that I must be locked in and mentally ready for this moment. The Raptors need somebody on the team to sit these guys down and say, okay, guys, if you want to be a good basketball team, it's going to come down to the small stuff. It's going to be about the hydration. It's going to be about limiting your sugar intake. It's about getting to sleep, getting your rest and recovery. Okay. Scotty Barnes looked like he was half asleep during shoot around. So did RJ Barrett. So did Emmanuel Quickley. All these guys were rubbing their eyes. Now, I understand guys take game day naps or whatever, but honestly, it all felt like it was preparing for a really big letdown performance from these guys, and they ran out of steam. And it was just so interesting to me that the one guy that really stuck out to both my friend and myself as the guy who really, really had it together was Jamison Battle. And that's the guy who came out and saved your fucking season. And I say save your season because if you lose this game right now, there's going to be a change in the starting lineup. And probably there's going to start being very loud rumbles of has the team, locked out of Darko Rajakovic. I think Jamison Battle and Darko Rajakovic have a very, very solid relationship. They spent a lot of time working together last year. Darko has helped him get better. This team better fucking kiss their ground. Kiss their Bible, kiss the ground, kiss the heavens, that they have a coach who has this much patience to teach, that they have a coach that has this much patience to let them work through their bullshit and their mistakes. But this guy is not soft. Darko is not soft. I know exactly where he comes from. He comes from where I come from. Okay. He grinded through this thing. So he and Jamison Battle are like that. Darko is never sleepy on game day. He comes prepared. Okay. He comes prepared. He's preaching the right stuff. He has the wrong players to do it. Okay. So what I'll say is Scotty Barnes, grow up. Emmanuel Quickley, grow up. RJ Barrett, grow the fuck up. Okay. Brandon Ingram, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, that's my word. Like if something doesn't go your way, you don't get to sulk about it. Emmanuel Quickley, oh, you're not getting the shots you want. You got $32.5 million to play basketball. Like, I don't want to count anyone's money, and I'm really happy you got it, but for real, you got $32.5 million and you're not happy. That might be a problem. That might be a you problem, honestly. Sulking when you got $32 million, you one of the most overpaid players in the league. How are you unhappy? Now, shit on RJ Barrett a lot in this. Let me give him credit where credit is due. This was very good defense on Dean Wade. Look at that. RJ Barrett, this is right when the Raptors are trying to climb in. If Dean Wade makes this shot, it's a big momentum breaker. But RJ Barrett's not going to let him. He actually blocks him here. And then go down to the other end. Of course, 5-9, 9-5. The only players that these two ever pass to are each other. And so RJ Barrett decides, boom, catch and shoot. I can make this shot. And he does. And that is a huge, huge moment for RJ Barrett because he basically like gave the Raptors a major momentum shift with that play because the Raptors have been ending quarters and starting quarters horribly. And that is a quarter that you actually ended well. Now, a play ago before that, wait a second. No. Where the hell is it? What the hell? Oh, no. Sorry. The caption was supposed to be for RJ's missed layup with his left hand, but never mind. I guess I posted the wrong clip. I said, thank God for BI. Here, the Raptors are in a dogfight. They're down. They're up 1 point, and it's just teetering, right? You're just like, oh my God, because this is going to come down to a 3-point shootout, and they got 3-point shooters that are actually hitting their shots. We don't really have 3-point shooters that are hitting their shots right now. So, you know, Brandon Ingram, this is why you got him. Boom. Takes the contact from DeAndre Hunter. Brandon Ingram has played enough games against DeAndre Hunter to know exactly what his defensive tendencies are, kind of the advantage of having a veteran on the court. I said Jamison Battle casually saving the Raptors season tonight. Honestly, man, he really did. I'm not even gassing it. He absolutely did. This shot sent them home, and then he got a dunk to put 2 more on the board and then to end the game because the score differential does count. The Raptors got 2 more from RJ Barrett, who had Scotty Barnes wide open in the basket, decided, let me just go and lay it up myself. As Scotty said, go. So there you go. Crowd was not too happy. But yeah, we're going to have Coach Mo on. We're going to talk about it, but let's just get to the super chat here. Give Darko some credit for inserting battle time. Too little too late, I guess. But yeah, sure. I'm very, very happy he did that. I'm thrilled he did that, actually. And, shout out to Darko Rajakovic for doing that. Liam said, what do you think of Battle's defense? Can he actually be something like a high rotation player? His defense is mediocre. It's not great. Military Man said, thoughts on... he said the same thing. Okay, let's bring on Coach Mo. Coach Mo, what up?
I am not happy IQ got that contract. I just want to be clear about that. You can be happy for him. I'm not.
Your mic rumbling, bro. Yeah.
I said I'm not happy IQ got the contract.
I heard you, but I'm saying your mic's rumbling. But yeah, we're good.
Are we good now?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's a major difference between Shed and IQ. And okay. I think the main issue is Shed can get to the rim clean. Like he gets by his man.
Right.
Like Shed gets 2 feet in the paint, that forces a rotation. Right. You know that clip you showed where IQ was like, you're like, is this a good shot? He doesn't beat his man off the dribble. The guy's on his hip, right?
Right.
And he's like throwing it, like no one helps the guy guarding IQ because he hasn't beat him yet. Shed is like, he's shorter, he's quick, he's explosive, he's strong, and it's hard to veer Shed off his path. So if Shed gets a shoulder by you, the rotations have to start because he's gone.
Right.
So that's the main difference. Shed can actually break his guy down and get 2 feet in the paint. And that's the place you want to be. IQ can't do that. That's the main difference between the two.
But IQ has been finishing a lot better in the paint, to be fair.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be the point guard, you need to make plays. To make plays, you need to, create. And it's cool you can get to the basket semi-regularly and finish. How does that help the team? You just scored 2 points. How does that help the offense?
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Another thing is, I just find it interesting. I have the same thought when we were blowing the game in like in the third quarter when things were looking shaky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, wow, Darko, are you really going to get fired over these rotations? Like, is it that serious that you're willing to lose your job? And as soon as I had that thought, timeout, yeah, Jamison Battle, come in the game. Shed, come in the game. Grady Dick, never touch the court again. It's like, okay, so we're only doing this when your job's on the line. So what I gathered from this is we weren't really trying to win prior, but today we tried to win. Today we tried to save jobs.
I think
but against Milwaukee, who gave a shit, right? Who gave a shit?
Right. No, I think we were trying to win previously. I think
Rob, let me put it in layman's terms. If Darko's entire family was on the line for a win, we'd see exactly how we thought about everybody. We'd see exactly who he wanted to play. But that's not the case. So he's going to play whoever the powers that be tell him to play. And his job was on the line tonight. He told IQ, kick rocks.
Kick rocks is funny. I mean, facts.
And for the record, Grady should never touch the NBA court. I don't need to see that guy ever again. I'm good. I don't need to see that dude ever again.
Damn.
Ever again. I'm good, bro.
Ever?
I'm good. He can wear another jersey. I'm done with him. Put Jacoby on. Just put Jacoby on. And also, here are the guys who were in the doghouse. See it tonight, because Darko was coaching for his life, okay?
Mm-hmm.
CMB's a rookie, so it is what it is. No ill will towards CB. Love the guy. You were struggling tonight. He sat you. Cool. Ochai has not been good. He can't make a shot to save his life. Ochai hasn't been good. So he
But you don't like the defense tonight? Play good defense.
The defense is good. I'm talking about offensively. It hasn't been great. But again, I'd rather him play than a couple other guys. IQ, obviously, but Grady's the number one. Grady, it's like I'm not getting fired over Grady. That ain't happening.
Yeah, I hear that. What else do you think of tonight? Like, did you like? I think Ochai's in a weird place, man. He didn't get a contract. I'm not saying like he has a right to be salty about it, but like at the same time, like you empathize that he is now playing without a contract.
No, if I'm him, I'm furious because IQ gave you a decent garbage time stats and he got paid, and I gave you a full year and nothing. So yeah, I'd be pissed. Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Fairs. Yeah. I mean, what'd you think of Scotty's second half performance? I didn't like it.
Horrible. It didn't even start in the second half. It started like ending of the second quarter. And when he's struggling, when he's frustrated, he resorts back to all the skills and he's learned the past couple of years go out the window when he's struggling and he's in his own head. That's why truly great and skilled offensive players, they just go off natural instinct, right? You can't really bother them. They just do their thing. Scotty has to be composed. He has to be in a good mind state because he's not a naturally gifted offensive player. So when he's rattled, you can just tell, oh, this dude's about to miss the next 5 shots. He's done. He's done.
Yeah. He really needs to learn how to. Okay, so have you been watching baseball a little bit?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
I think this is a great place to have this conversation. Do you watch Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah.
Do you see that guy's eyes?
Mm-hmm.
No darting. He's just 1000% there all the time. LeBron's like that too. I don't know how these guys do it. Luka's like that too. They're just not as distracted as Scotty. Scotty is a very distracted player. And I don't quite RJ's a very distracted player. Brandon Ingram's brain is a little bit like it moves a little bit slower. There's a little bit more pace to it. But for the most part, I think that it's really like Shohei Ohtani is the example that I would set. Like and just say like that's the guy. That dude right there. Michael Jordan was like that too. Locked in. Like 1000%. You cannot find a single possession of Michael Jordan on the court where he looks, yeah, sure, emotional. Sure. Dal saying it's emotional maturity. No, it is not emotional maturity. Scotty Barnes is actually a very mature person. Like he understands, he has empathy, he understands his job, he's a professional. I think it's emotional regulation. It is learning which thoughts and which emotions are productive and which are not. Blocking out. It's taken me a lifetime to figure this shit out. You know, I'm 37 years old. Like now, when people are yelling at me on the panel, I'm actually quite calm. It's taken years to figure out how to be calm as people are screaming. And the truth is, most people will never understand what it is to play a professional basketball game. No one will ever understand it. What's the most number of people you've ever played in front of, Coach Mo, as a player?
Not that many. I'd say maybe like 200. Yeah, it's not that many.
Was that like at a tournament or something?
That was like a high school game.
Okay,
It's not that many. It's not that many because where I played, they couldn't house that many people.
Okay, so 200 people. I would say the most people I've ever played in front of was probably around there, 200, 250, 300, around there. I got to tell you, like, that shit gets intimidating when the crowd starts going and people start jeering at you. Can you imagine what it's like to play in front of 20,000 people? It's a completely different situation. And there's a lot of things that are coming at you, right? Like really quick. And even more so for a baseball player. You got like thousands of fans and you know, on the road screaming at Shohei Ohtani. You know, when he goes to bat, they're screaming like Shohei, marry me, Shohei this, Shohei, no way. They're screaming all sort of, you got to block it out. And that is like sort of the eye of the tiger, you know, whatever Rocky was on about, right? Like that's the eye of the tiger. That is what Scotty needs to find right now. 100%. He needs to find it. The second he finds it, the team will find it. I am convinced that when he gets rattled, the whole team gets rattled. He has such a powerful influence over this team, and his body language, like honestly, can sometimes be a little bit like, you know, it is immature, but it's coming from the place of I'm so frustrated and I don't know what to do about it. And I think solving problems emotionally, like we all have things that piss us off. There's a driver that's driving too fast, cuts us off in the lane, pisses us off. That makes sense. It's you know, it's annoying. You can't do anything about it. You're going to ram them off the road. But a lot of these things, it's like learning how to deal with situations where the problem solving element has to be higher for Scotty. If you have an issue with how Emmanuel Quickley's playing, you have to feel composed enough, like a Kobe Bryant, where you can go up to that guy. I think someone needs to talk to Scotty about this, and I don't have access to him. If he was my friend, that's what I would say to him. That's what I would say to him 100% is like, bro, I know you're emotional. I know you care about the right things, and that's all productive. I know you care about winning, and that's productive. I know you want to do the right thing all the time, and that's productive. But you're always going to have 4 players on the court, and some of them don't always do the right things. I think there are segments of Scotty's career where I haven't seen this. And then when things are going bad behind the scenes and guys are fucking up routinely, like when we can see it, he always struggles, right? He always struggles when things are going poorly. So it's maybe it's the point guard thing. He thinks of himself as a point guard. Point guard should have a lot of control over the offense. And he doesn't have control over this offense. There are times where he's just camping out in the corner and he doesn't get a touch for 4 straight possessions. There's times where he has to watch Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett pass the ball to each other over and over and over and over and over again as he gets frozen out of the offense, as he's demanding for the ball down low. I get it. You know, he's a point guard in mind. He sees the game like a point guard. He has to reconcile this somewhere because I know what he's going through because I've been through it to some extent in my very limited life, experiences, I can feel the frustration coming off of him when he's like that, and it's just not productive, and he doesn't play well when he's like that, and it happened in the San Antonio game as well.
He's also like you talked about the rebounding. Because CMB the past couple games has been listed at center, but I mean it's
Scotty's
center by
playing center.
committee. It's
Scotty's
center
playing
by
center.
huh?
Scotty's playing center.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And
Like
he's doing
even the game in preseason where Mobo started at center, who guarded who guarded Nikola Jokic,
yeah,
Scotty Barnes.
yeah,
So
and he's tasked with because he's as strong as CMB is. I think Scotty's still a bit stronger, and Scotty's taller and
easily.
he's longer. So he's actually our center, and he's the one boxing out. Like he's playing out of position. People are, messing up on offense all the time. They're messing up on defense. I mean, he's asked to do like to fix so many holes.
Right.
My question to you is, where does this leave Jamison Battle for the next game? Because I agree, he's been our only perfect player so far. So are we really going to do this thing where we just keep playing Grady and we just force feed IQ 35 minutes? And like, are we just going to do this thing, or are we trying to win games? Because this idea that we got to feature these guys, no one is taking Emmanuel Quickley off your fucking hands. Nobody's that stupid. So you can either play him his 22 minutes and bench him for some fourth quarters, or you can lie to yourself and make him out to be something he's not. Accept the fact that you made a mistake. The dude's a borderline starter. He's more of a bench player than a starter to me. He's not that good. And I remember you mentioned, oh, he's what did you say? You said he's the dynamic, or no, he's none of those things. He's a bench player, and somehow his agent, God bless that guy. But it is what it is. So are we going to do the Jakob Poeltl thing? Are we just going to double and triple down on a mistake? Or are we going to be like, okay, we've already made it. And let's just treat him like the fifth, sixth guy he really is. Or you can just say he's a point guard and just ruin whatever the hell you have left of Scotty Barnes. Those are your options, because he's never going to sniff an all-star team. He's never going to justify this contract. But you can pretend. You can keep pretending till everybody gets fired.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Like comparing Jamison Battle and Grady Dick, which I think like a lot of fans are doing right now. Like it's worth noting Jamison played 5 years of college basketball. Grady played 1. They both came out in the same year. Like we have to be, well, actually, no. Grady has 1 more year of NBA experience, which is actually depressing to think about, but true. I think Grady is struggling immensely right now. Like he's struggling with a shot, and when a shooter struggles with a shot, like it's tough, man. It's tough. But he's also massively struggling defensively, and I question his fit with a team that wants to play this way. Like it feels like 2 different people built these teams, and I'm very curious. I wish I knew Bobby Webster so I could ask him what parts of this roster are yours and which parts are Masai's.
Yep.
Because again, it feels like a little bit of a hodgepodge of ideas, right? Of how you want to play. Like on the one hand, there is the Collin Murray Boyles, Elijah Martin side of it, right? Which is we want to play very, very physical basketball, and we're very, very much committed to this idea of, guarding up into people and stuff. But then where does Grady Dick and Emmanuel Quickley and RJ Barrett fit into this? Like who made that move, right? Was that more of a Masai thing? Like, oh, we need shooting, so let's get this guy. And then, do you know what I mean? Like whose idea was this?
I don't know. And clearly we lack size. Clearly. We're struggling to get rebounds. And even if we have Jakob, that's one guy, right? And Jakob's not fleet of foot, and he's not some dominant rebounder, but he's the best we got. We have Ochai, we have IQ, we have Grady, we have Walter, we have Battle, I think RJ, like all those guys are actually just 2 guards. We need bigs. This roster is just shooting guards.
Yeah, I feel
half the roster is a 2 guard. And you pretend one's a 1, you pretend one's a 3.
I think Battle is a 2. So 2-3. Jacoby is more of a 2. Grady is more of a 3 going forward, but he's not strong enough right now. Ochai is more of a 2-3-4 kind of player, but a very undersized one at that. Scotty's like a 1-4 Swiss Army knife. RJ is like more landlocked at the 2 because he's so undersized for the 3. But I think he's also not quick enough to play the 2. I think like the entire problem with RJ Barrett for me has always been that he's just a little bit smaller than he would need to be super successful. Like if RJ Barrett with this exact game was 6'8", 6'9", I think he'd be an all-star. Exact game. But he's closer to 6'5.5", 6'6", and it's just like the limited burst at the rim just kind of makes it a little bit harder.
And the wingspan isn't there to make up for it.
Exactly. 6'9" wingspan is not exactly nothing, but it's not exactly something to write home about either. So yeah, it just kind of comes down to that. I think overall, this is a weird game because it's like you feel happy that we're 2-3. Okay, this could have been worse. And let's just be honest. Nobody when we started this season out had us beating the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. If I told you prior to the season starting, hey Coach Mo, after 5 games we're 2-3, but we beat the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. Huh?
2-4.
Oh shit, my bad. 2-4. We're 2-4, but we beat the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Atlanta Hawks. I'd say you'd probably be like, that's pretty decent. Like, that's okay. I would expect us to be 2-4. We beat 2 of the better teams. And make it better. We were in the Dallas game very much, and we were winning the Milwaukee game. We could easily be 4-2. So I think it's just one of those things where the record is not going to reflect the reality. And the reality is this team is in trouble. This team has lot of question marks to answer in terms of chemistry. And this was the one problem we didn't have last year. The one problem is we didn't have this ball hogging, hero ball bullshit. We didn't have like a lot of bad energy and bad vibes. And then someone told me this offseason, it's a trainer friend of mine, and he said, you know, it's easy to be all kumbaya when you're not trying to win.
Yep.
And that's a lesson I'm learning right now is, you know, there's real there's real stakes on the line. Now, I want to suspect, actually, this is just my projection, suspicion, whatever, that at least part of the problem right now is that RJ Barrett and Ochai Agbaji didn't get their contracts.
Yep.
And Emmanuel Quickley obviously has close ties to RJ Barrett. And right now it's like wonderful because you're going to relive the entire Fred VanVleet saga all over again. And once again, it's going to be contracts that are going to be fucking over because, again, like RJ Barrett is not a scrub. He's not a role player. He's not, no offense, he's not Jamison Battle, right? He's not someone that you're just going to be like, hey, be happy with, you know, whatever you got. Like, of course, like you want him to, you know, buy into the scheme and all that stuff. But at the same time, like, he's also a guy who fancies himself as one of the better players in the league. Whether he's right or wrong about that is kind of irrelevant. The point here is he thinks he is worth a financial commitment from this team. And this is his home, you know, like he's home. This is his, you know, he probably feels like, okay, I'm home. This is my team, whatever. So if you look at it from that perspective, right, that this is a guy who probably thinks that he deserves 25 to 30 million. What if they went to him and said, we'll extend you for 18, and he just got really salty about it?
That's probably how it's going to go.
And then, of course, there's the reporting of Jake Fisher, right? Now, again, I have to acknowledge that beat reporting has gotten a lot more public, right? Like we just have way more people covering the game than ever. And all of those people have access to these players to some degree because of social media, right? When I was talking shit about Fred VanVleet, when I was talking shit about Chris Boucher, shout outs to Chris Boucher, because, you know, he dapped me up a couple times. He responded to me. We're cool now. But Chris Boucher, you know, Davion Mitchell, Gary Trent, Fred VanVleet, all of these players have heard the noise of people talking about them. They've heard me talk about them. I'm sure they've heard Sampson, Lewis, Satzman, all these guys talk about them. But they also hear Jake Fisher saying, I know inside sources confirmed that they have let RJ Barrett's representation know that they're shopping him. So RJ Barrett is not a secret. Like he knows they're shopping him. So now if I know that you're shopping me, well, I'm not really part of this now. I'm just coming out here trying to do my job. Okay, cool. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just it's a kind of weird situation right now.
I think it's a huge red flag against this depleted Cavs team with one star player and a bunch of who he play for. Okay, let's keep it real. Chuck would get all of them wrong besides Evan Mobley, all of them.
Okay, yeah.
That Darko hit his, break glass in case of emergency. For this game, game 6? Bro, it's not good. It's not good. And this, I'm super patient and it's okay. You're all gonna get your minutes. We're happy. Yo, dude's not like, you're showing these clips on defense. I'd guarantee you 99% of coaches, you're sitting down. These random RJ double teams where he gives up layups, bro, most coaches, you don't see that game again. But
saw a little bit less of that today. Shout outs to the 400 people in here. Please give this video a like, and shout outs to Tetrahedron. What would a trade for Markkanen look like? Okay, let's negotiate. I'll be the Toronto Raptors, you be the Utah Jazz, and then we'll inverse it. Okay. Ring ring. We would like to make a trade centered around RJ Barrett for Lauri Markkanen. What are your conditions, Mr. Danny Ainge?
I'm Danny.
Yeah, you're Danny. We'll flip it. We'll flip it after. Yeah. But yeah, let's play this out. Let's role play this.
You're giving me RJ. Okay. First of all, we need to make the contracts match.
Okay.
So what is RJ makes what, like 27?
Yep.
And Lauri makes what? 45? Something like that?
To be honest with you, like to get that off the cuff is actually pretty impressive. Yeah, it's right around there. So let's just open up both teams here. So this is the Utah Jazz. Okay, here we go.
I'm telling you right now, I don't want Grady. I don't want IQ. I definitely don't want Jakob. You can keep them.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, we got 20 million to make up, so you're gonna have to take somebody. If you don't want Jakob and you don't want Quickley, you're not getting Brandon Ingram, you're not getting Scotty Barnes. So I don't know how we're gonna make these salaries work, bro.
See, here's where the problem lies.
It is indeed a problem.
I do not. There is no way in hell you have enough picks for me to swallow that Emmanuel Quickley contract. Pause. It ain't happening. So maybe you can talk me into Jakob Poeltl. You can talk me into Jakob Poeltl, but I'm going to need like 4 first-round picks.
You're not getting 4 first-round picks.
Okay, there's nothing to talk about.
4 first-round picks, bro.
Bro, you're giving me one maybe neutral asset. I have to re-sign this guy.
RJ Barrett is a good player.
I have to re-sign him. And he's not going to like what I want to give him.
Who do you think Lauri Markkanen is? You think he's a superstar? He's like a 28-year-old. First of all, he's 28. I'm giving you the younger player.
He just dropped 50.
Against who?
Tell me anybody on your roster that dropped 50 recently.
What does that have to do with anything? Who cares?
Okay.
No, that doesn't matter. Fuck that noise. No, that. Come on, man.
Give me your pitch. Jakob Poeltl and RJ for Lauri, and what are you throwing in on top?
First of all, I'm giving you a solid starting center. And Walker Kessler is going to be a lot more expensive than this guy in the next offseason. So let's just be there.
Not. We're not you. We don't just throw money at the wall.
Walker Kessler is a restricted free agent. There is a team out there that is going to sign Walker Kessler to about $25 to $30 million. So you're going to pay a lot. And he has nowhere near the offensive awareness and IQ. By the way, you're a young team. You need some stabilization on your team. So
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But thank you for worrying about us.
Yo, the player you're asking me to take back here is actually considered overpaid by many NBA circles as well. Just so we're clear. Lauri Markkanen is not exactly cheap. Okay. $46 million for a non-superstar in today's NBA. Are we kidding here? This is not a superstar. This is not a top 20 player. Go check the ESPN top 20 list. He was what, 45th? 50th? RJ Barrett was 100th. So Jakob Poeltl is like top 90. I'm giving you a pretty fair deal here. We should be able to work around these parameters with
Okay.
a couple
What
of
are you?
picks.
Okay, let's hear the picks.
Okay. First of all, I need a center. I need a center. So
Okay.
I will actually give you a good deal. You give me Walker Kessler. I will give you Grady Dick. I will give you Ochai Agbaji. And now we can talk 3 firsts. I will give you my unprotected. No, I'll give you top 5 protected.
No. I don't need any protections.
Eh,
You're giving me, hold on. You're giving me the corpse of Jakob Poeltl, who I have to pay for another 4 years. Grady Dick, who ain't an NBA player.
oh
Ochai
man.
Agbaji, who I got rid of. You're giving him back to me,
Yeah,
and
but we
he's gonna
made
want a
him
new contract.
better. We made
Hold
him
on.
better now. He blocks shots now.
RJ Barrett and Ochai Agbaji are going to want contracts more than what anybody's willing to give them. Okay. So if we're doing 3 first-round picks, I don't want to hear about any protections or I'm hanging up. I don't want to hear about no protections.
Be for real, man.
No, you be for real.
Okay.
You're giving me, listen, you're literally handing me all your problems. And then you want to put restrictions on
Okay.
picks?
Okay, Danny. I heard you had a bad reputation for being hard to deal with. I didn't realize it was this bad. Okay. I'm hanging up the phone. I can't deal with this because
Okay.
I'm giving you young assets. I'm
No,
giving you good
you're not.
players.
Grady Dick ain't an asset. Jakob
Yep.
Poeltl on that contract in an asset. And 2 guys who are ready for contract extensions aren't assets. No one
What do
is a
you think
star.
Walker Kessler is? He is also ready for an extension. Are you kidding me? I am taking an overpaid player off your hands. You're taking a fairly paid player and a slightly overpaid player and 2 young assets, and I'm adding picks. Are we kidding here? Like, this is not that far off. Like,
Ochai
okay,
ain't an asset. Ochai has been,
okay.
this is his third
I'm
trade. He's
out.
just being
I'm
tossed
out.
all over the
I'm
place.
out. I'm calling the Boston Celtics. Fuck.
Okay.
Okay. Calling your former team. Okay. Brad Stevens, pick up. I got an RJ Barrett for no, wait, fuck that. No, we're gonna keep RJ Barrett. I got an Emmanuel Quickley.
Ooh.
You like to take threes? This guy loves to take threes. He's gonna y'all gonna love him. I will give you Emmanuel Quickley for the 5 years older Derek White swap. Okay.
So you want me,
And I will
yeah.
also give you Grady Dick because y'all know how much they love them white boys in Boston.
You
And
love trading Grady Dick, huh?
yep.
You cannot wait to get rid of him. The so-called asset.
Yeah, and I would like to take back Xavier Tillman is a minimum contract guy. Okay, cool. So this is the framework of the deal. What do I got to add to this to make this worth your while? Please remember, you are Brad Stevens. You are not Coach Mo. You have to think like Brad Stevens. They love threes. These are 2 of our highest volume 3-point shooters.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to save money. So why would I want IQ for the length of his contract?
Say
We're
what
trying
now?
to save money. We're trying to save money. That's what we've been doing all summer. So this increases my payroll. And I want to salvage the remainder of Jason Tatum's career. And Emmanuel Quickley at $32.5 million.
But hang on, you already ducked under the tax, and also Derek White's contract goes up. Emmanuel Quickley's contract stays flat.
Emmanuel Quickley ain't that good.
Okay, Derek White's old and bald.
So why do you want him?
I don't know. We don't got any bald players. I figure it might help us. All our players have too much hair.
Okay.
We need some toughness. We need some bald toughness. These bald guys are pretty tough. Let me check. Michael Jordan, bald, tough, right?
What are you adding to this? Because clearly this is lopsided. So what are the sweeteners?
Sweeteners.
Yes.
Okay. I will add.
Because I'm looking at 2 guys you benched today to get a win. So let's hear it.
I will give you a top 5 protected 2028 pick. And the Lakers 2nd round pick. And a 2031. Nah. Can't do it. I'll give you the 2030 2nd round pick as well. I'll give you a lightly protected 2028 first. And honestly, if this Brandon Ingram thing blows up in our face, that's going to be a lottery pick, potentially. And I will give you Emmanuel Quickley and Grady Dick.
So 2027 unprotected and
2028. Wait, 2027 unprotected. No, 2027. No, it's 2020. Hold on. Let me just check here. It is 2026.
top 5.
No. 2028 is top 5 protected. And that's the only first round pick I'm giving you. I'm not giving you multiple firsts for 31-year-old Derek White. Like, let's just be for real here. He's a good player, but like he's a role player.
You're gonna have to give me something more than that to take on Emmanuel Quickley's contract. You did that to yourself. I didn't. No one put a gun to your head to give him that contract. And to get rid of that contract,
how do you feel about Garrett?
You're going to have to hand a chunk of flesh to get rid of that contract.
Chunk of flesh is crazy, bro.
Yeah, that contract's crazy.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's been a really positive player for most of his career. I think you're talking about him like a bum. Like, and Emmanuel Quickley is not a bum, dude. Like, he's not who you're saying he is. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's as bad as you're saying he is.
Okay, keep him if he's not that bad.
Please take him off my team. I'm joking. I actually just made a video being very positive about Emmanuel Quickley today. Did you happen to see it?
No. Yeah, I no, actually I watched it. But yeah, here's the problem, man. Like we're doing this exercise, but man, the contracts on this team, bro, it's hard to make trades with this shit. Like, I think you've talked about it before, but like the idea is if I hand this person this contract, can I trade it? And we just routinely give dudes contracts we cannot trade. And putting it out there, we're trying to trade this guy. No one cares. We're exhibiting this guy at the number you paid him. No one cares.
Fair.
You're keeping this guy. Dude, he's here for the long haul. He's not going anywhere. No one wants him unless you, I'm telling you, a chunk of flesh. And there's no point in, making another wrong to get rid of the previous wrong. You're just going to have to stomach it.
You know, it'd be really funny if Emmanuel Quickley went to Bobby Webster and said, I want to be out of here. I want to trade. And Bobby Webster said, we tried. Nobody wants you.
Yeah, seriously. That'd probably be how it would go.
Oh my God.
Here, let me ask you a simple question. If IQ's like, I demand a trade, like what would it take to even offload him? Besides like taking another horrible contract back. It's hard, bro.
Offloading him. Yeah, it's tough. But honestly, like it is a flat contract. There's after this year, there's only 3 years left on it. At some point he is valuable. Like I mean, I'm sorry. Like I watched Terry Rozier make a lot of money in this league. He's basically like Terry Rozier. He's basically like Lou Williams. Maybe he's a little over leveraged right now. He's obviously going through a cold shooting stretch right now, but ultimately he's a pretty good player.
Rozier can actually score and create offense for himself, legitimately from nothing, from scratch.
Okay, Terry.
Like you can hand that guy the ball with 5 seconds left, and he can score. IQ can't do that.
Debatable.
No, you actually can't. No, you can't.
Dude,
I've watched Terry Rozier in Charlotte.
Did you see my live where I talked about like what he shoots off of 6 dribbles? That's basically isolation possessions. Like I went down the hill of a lot of his isolation possessions. He is a good isolation scorer relative to his size. He's pretty decent. Like he's a pretty decent player. Please take him. Damn.
I mean, Rozier is scoring.
Look, honestly, the reason that I want Derek White, number one, is because he's very egoless, and I think he would solidify this locker room in a lot of ways with his personality. I think his leadership, his championship pedigree, his soothing sort of essence, right, would be very, very important for a team this young that is so desperately needing, let's call it like veteran leadership, right? Prominent veteran leadership cannot come from your 13th, 14th, 15th guy. I mean, I understand the Raptors have had this bullshit idea of like Thaddeus Young and Garrett Temple and Otto Porter coming in and coaching the guys. But at some point, actually, one of your main guys has to be that guy, right? Marc Gasol, Danny Green had a much more prominent leadership position within the team because they were able to play so many minutes. And like you're on a team with a guy, like you got to be out there with the guy, right? So that's how I see it. Like you got to view it that way. So
I think the most important thing Derek White would bring is he's a low error player. We have a lot of high error player teams. A lot of we suck mainly because there's so many players making so many mistakes that are overlapping in multiple possessions in a row. You can't really win that way, right? You
I
can't.
agree.
That's remember the low IQ ball when in nurses and tenure, like it won't work. You can't like Boucher and Precious, like you can't overlap these people. You're just gonna lose the games. You can't win that way. And Derek White is one of the lowest error players in the league right now.
I agree. Colosso saying, how do you feel about moving IQ to the 2 when we trade RJ and moving Scotty to point guard? I get it. Of course, I definitely understand the theory behind it.
But I don't even know what that means because IQ will still be guarding ones.
Right. Well, I think the issue right now is not like who is point guard. I think that is more like debunked by the egalitarian offense that you're trying to play here, right? Basically, anyone who gets the ball is able to push it up. Like today, we saw Jacoby bring it up. We saw Ochai bring it up today, right? Like, and did not go well. So we like to empower. I'm sure at some point, Collin Murray Boyles, Sandra Mamikashvili, I've seen every single one of these players initiate offense for this team. So it's not really that. It's not about like point guard, who is center. It's really who is on what position of the court. How many possessions is that person running pick and roll? As what are they running it, right? Emmanuel Quickley could save this team with one thing: screening. If he became a better screener, he could save this team. I'm not even kidding about it. Like he really, really could, right? If he could start setting screens for Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes, and he could start being a better off-ball mover like he was in New York, and just dial up defensively, like he has to know at this point, this team desperately needs him. They need him to be that guy, right?
I think it would be a lot better for him and the team if someone sat him down and be like, forget the contract. Forget, like, when they brought him and Scotty to that press conference and the whole thing was the future is now and it's them two, I think they royally fucked his head up. Because at this point, off-ball, you don't think so?
No, he already felt that way about himself. If I'm being honest, like that's how he's felt about himself.
Feeling that way about yourself is one thing. When your delusions of grandeur are then supported by your superiors, yeah, now we have a problem.
Delusions of grandeur. Yeah,
everyone is. Yeah. RJ thinks he's the man. IQ thinks he's the man, right? Yeah, everyone thinks they're the man.
ESPNNeedsIKD saying, why is he consistently going on multiple guys by himself in transition? IQ is one of the worst fast break players I've ever watched. I think this is part of Darko Rajakovic. Like, look, Darko has really empowered him for better or worse, right? You can definitely say for worse. I mean, if we're being honest, he's empowered him to this idea that he can be this guy, that he can be the type of player who can initiate offense, run pick and roll, maybe even put in his head that he can be a star in this league at some point. And he's got to look at,
and you'll lose your job over it.
Right. And I think that you have to acknowledge players for who they are, right? You can't necessarily make them someone that they're not necessarily. Oh my God. Are the Nuggets about to lose to the Blazers right now?
Oh, I was actually keeping an eye on that game.
Oof. I can't believe what I'm watching here.
They're up 5 with a minute left. What are you talking about? Oh, I'm behind. I'm actually behind. Oh shit, they're up 2.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the score up for everybody. That's crazy.
This
Sheridan Sharp enters the game.
This Portland team is really good.
They really are.
Foul. Yeah. Okay. Jeremy Grant is going to the line to shoot 2 to to tie the game.
Oh, you're still behind. Wait, what?
You know what's crazy? We have more talent than Portland, even though Portland's very talented. We just don't fit together. Man, our front office is so. Watching these other teams with similar or maybe even less talent, but they're just better constructed. They're just better.
Factually, yes. Yeah. That's nuts. Please, Jeremy Grant, miss a free throw here. Like, I'm not trying to see like everyone crash out on Nikola Jokic being a bum tomorrow. People are already like very, very down on him overall. And I'm sure tonight's 21. I know he's really doing a lot to sort of fit out of the offense a little bit, but yeah. Wait, are you sure that he's going to the line? Yeah.
Oh, they're reviewing the I think it was challenged. Yeah, the Nuggets challenged that foul.
Okay. Well, let us pray.
Yeah, they're doing their 5-minute review because they can't do it fast.
Hey man, game's online.
Do you remember before replays and everything? Do you remember a couple games Raptors got stolen from them? That one game where they didn't even count a basket. Do you remember that? And we lost. They forgot to count a basket.
Nuggets charged with a timeout. The review is over. Damn, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a foul, but Scotty does that same drive and no call, no whistle. It's crazy when you watch some of these other teams play and some of the I like Wemby, but some of the calls he was getting, it was like, dude, if Scotty was getting some of these calls, bro, he'd be averaging 25 easy 25. And I understand you got to protect him, and he's the golden goose, but at some point, I think you mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned it, but a coach from an opposing team against the Spurs, he got ejected for the officiating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just randomly just talking nonsense, but Wemby is so good so early. That dude is going to be a massive, massive problem. And officiating that guy is going to be very strange.
I agree.
It's going to be strange because if you cannot be physical with him, you're cooked. Just hand them rings.
Yeah. I mean, Rich said this team is stuck, man. They kind of are, but like it could be worse. I hate to bring this up. Like I hate to, bring up. Oh, did they miss?
Kamara got a block.
Oh, wow. Did it go out of bounds on?
Yeah, it's Nuggets ball.
Damn.
It's Nuggets ball.
That's tough.
Kamara blocked
Cam Johnson.
Yeah, he blocked.
I am never going to hear the end of it. Like people like already think I'm an idiot for thinking Cam Johnson's better than Michael Porter Jr.
He is.
I think he is too, but he hasn't really gotten off to the right start so far. How much time's left on the clock?
6.9. Game clock, shot clock, 3.2.
This goes to overtime. Portland at home.
You know what's
all the momentum.
You know what's so sad? I'm watching Danny Avdija. He's really good. Dyson Daniels was traded. Like we're seeing like quality players, and then we don't get any of them. You talked about the Spurs.
Collin Murray Boyles, man.
Okay, yeah, but that's a draft. It's a draft pick.
How do you think they got? Oh well, yeah, that's true. Danny Avdija was traded.
I mentioned two guys that those teams didn't draft.
That's true. That's fair.
And they went for less than you would have thought.
Yeah. That's fair. That's a fair point. I agree with that. Yeah, man. It's a tough situation, like for the Toronto Raptors right now. Like you had so many opportunities to get centers in the draft, right? You passed up a lot of them. You had opportunities to get stretch bigs. You passed up on them, right? Second round draft scouting hasn't been the greatest, right? You've had some tremendously bad luck with the centers you have drafted, right? And now it leaves this glut behind you, right? We saw this with Nick Nurse, right? Where you don't invest in your depth. Eventually, you don't have depth, you know? So now, like, the Raptors need to prey on a star that Jakob Poeltl or Jamal Shed or like these guys become players of real consequence. And it might come from a surprising place, man. DeLon Wright was the first round pick, and Fred VanVleet was the undrafted free agent. We don't know that Jamison Battle doesn't end up having a better career than Jacoby and Grady. He could. There's nothing stopping him. He's a 6'7" athlete who can shoot like a
Jokic jump
flamethrower.
ball with Kamara.
What?
Tamari Kamara and Jokic jump ball. Dude, Kamara's crazy good on defense. My goodness.
What do you mean jump ball?
Jump ball. Jump ball.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yep, jump ball.
This is freaking mental.
Jump ball, and if the Nuggets win, they have 1.2 seconds left to shoot. If the Nuggets get it. 4.9 on the game clock.
It's 1.4.
Oh, blocked shot. Oh, my God.
Shaden Sharp blocks Aaron Gordon. Nuggets offensive team rebound.
Holy crap.
What happened? It's overtime?
No. 3 seconds left. Portland ball.
Oh,
they called the timeout. They blocked the shot. Grab possession, call the timeout.
They get to advance the ball?
Yes.
They're going to hit the shot. Do you feel it?
If you're a Portland Trailblazer fan, you're living your best life to start this season.
For real.
And I love the fact that they didn't trade Drew Holiday. And they're playing him. And he's a gamer. He's not like what happened with Iguodala in Memphis. You know? Like at some point, okay, yeah, you're not on a contender, but you're still getting paid a bunch of money. Just play the game and help the team however you can, and be a vet.
I hear that.
Oh, have you ever heard of Christian Brown looking like the guy on the Kings who was on the Bulls? What was his name? I got traded. The dunker. Forgetting his name. I'm blanking out.
Oh.
I'm blanking on his name. Chat will know.
Say the description again.
He was traded from the Bulls to the Kings last offseason, last trade deadline.
Levine.
Yes.
Zach Levine.
Christian Brown looks like Zach Levine with the facial hair.
Yo, for sure, he does. I've been calling him Zach Levine the entire time.
There was an off-season workout where he started to grow his beard and shaved his head low, and you couldn't tell who was who from certain angles. You couldn't. It was crazy.
Ooh, we're going to overtime. Okay, I'm actually going to go try to watch this game. We got one more caller, Mohammed.
Wait a minute, it's actually going overtime?
Yeah, it is. Coach Mo, meet Mohammed Hassan. Mohammed Hassan, what's up, man? We got like 2 minutes. What's up?
I wanted to discuss a trade.
What's the trade, man?
With Brooklyn, maybe for IQ for Claxton. What do you think?
Straight up, Brooklyn, IQ, Claxton.
They're not taking it.
I think they actually might take that yet.
How many point guards they already got on their roster, bro?
Yeah, why would they want that?
I mean, I could understand it. Emmanuel Quickley does have a presence in Brooklyn, if you will. Like, he is a guy who is known there and all that stuff. But, oh my God, Aaron Gordon shooting foul. What?
Wait, after the fact?
Why does it say Aaron Gordon shooting foul? It says 0-0 Aaron Gordon shooting foul. Are you watching the game?
Yeah.
Did it go to overtime?
No. They're reviewing this foul.
Oh my God. They're actually going to lose.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
they actually blew the whistle. Yeah, they blew the whistle.
That's unbelievable. Can't believe it, man. Anyways.
1.4 left on the game clock. They said the foul took place with 1.4 left on the game clock. So he's going to shoot 2 free throws and there's 1.4 left on the game clock. This game is crazy.
That is fucking crazy. That is truly
But
insane. I can't believe that. Wow.
So the trade this guy proposed, here's the reality of the situation. If you want to get off IQ, if you want to get off RJ, all this, you're not getting assets. What I think they need to do is make a trade, accept that you're going to lose this trade, and just take back, do the Rudy Gay trade, so to speak, again, and make Darko's job so much easier in who he wants to play. Give him the freedom to play him, to play them, so to speak. You gotta just remove the guys on the team that aren't working and just bite the bullet, because this isn't going to work.
The Nuggets lost, dude. Wow.
Oh,
that
he
is
almost made it. He almost made it too.
Damn. Well, talk about an upset, man. That is an upset if I've ever seen one.
Really isn't it an upset? Portland has been very good so far.
They have been, but that's
like saying if the Bulls beat somebody who's like they're 5-0, it's an upset. Like I mean,
technically the Bulls did beat the New York Knicks tonight, and that was an upset because Mitchell Robinson actually played and Karl-Anthony Towns actually played. Like early in the season, we still go on preseason rankings a lot. Anyways, man, good game overall. Good result. The Raptors win 2-4 on the season.
What's our next game? What's our next game?
Good question. Hang on. Schedule.
But I really believe you're just gonna have to trade guys, and I'm not saying maybe attach a second. I'm not crazy enough to say throw a first in something, but
right. Memphis, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Philly, Brooklyn. So this is about as winnable a 5-game stretch as you're gonna have for a long time. You know, Memphis is not a bad team. You know, have a lot, shooters. Cedric Howard's been great. Atlanta is certainly going to be out for revenge. And Philly, Brooklyn, and Cleveland are all road games. Indiana's a road game as well. So Indiana doesn't have any of their point guards right now, but that's tough, man. Anyways, yeah.
Game 7.
It's been great.
Jays,
shout out to the Jays. Go win game 7. All right, peace, man.
Say it later.
See ya. All right, and please make sure to hit like on this video, and shout out to the Denver Nuggets faithful. I'm really glad we don't have the panel tomorrow because people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, Jokic is a bum." Oh man. All right, peace. Gotta love the early season reactions, man. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye.